Do you guys use Search Console for all your lead gen sites? They're curious because personally they're a little nervous about the sites being connected to each other.
I'd put them in different consoles.
I mean, you could put them in different consoles. You could even share management with different consoles. At the end of the day, there's very little that you do online that Google will not see as it pertains to what they're indexing and putting in their, in their SERPs and whatnot. Like, they're going to know you're managing GMBs, accessing webmasters from the same IP, signing in and out from one. I mean, you probably have like 7 different Gmails logged in on your computer right now to just click through. Like,
you
Google
switch
knows.
accounts.
You're not being shifty.
I'm fooling Google.
They know nothing.
I'm a whole new person now that I clicked that switch account button. So here's a confession. I always tried to teach people what I consider to be best practice. And I'll be transparent when I talk about sometimes like my link building and content strategies are super aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, man, we've sat and bought 200 links a month to just a single brand.
Oh yeah.
And like hardcore links. Like we've done that. Like I know you're into that too.
Yeah.
You've never really believed in the velocity, there being a velocity filter. And like we've discussed that. And it would be tricky to put a velocity filter on without potentially penalizing.
I remember the first time I increased my velocity, and I was sitting there and I was like, the quicker I build links, the quicker my rankings go up.
Well, there is the whole natural conversation. Like, it makes sense, but when you think about programmatically determining if something's unnatural or not, what's going to be the error rate of... Neil?
You better back up.
Look, instead of walking around, he went back and just fucking Neil. But what's going to be the error rate of? There he goes. Neil's the man, walking around the office.
Takes the other way not to interrupt the vault while we sit here. Comment on him walking.
Make fun. All right.
Stuff.
But imagine the error rate of like, oh, my content went viral, or like my local company was featured on the news. Like really, like a camera crew was there.
I would run like 50 press releases to my competitors all at once.
Yeah, that too.
Simple.
Yeah. De-ranking someone or potentially having a false positive on a velocity spam filter.
Devaluing good links because they had 5 other links built in the same day or something,
Like,
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man. Like, get out of here. If I was a nor'eastern guy, I'd be like, get out of here.
You would be.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
That is what you would say.
Instead, because I'm here, I'm just going to say, like, no friggin' way.
You're just going to make a comment about how you would have said it if you were that person.
Correct.
That's cool.
No friggin' way, pal. Not happening, bud. But, like, in terms, like, I always try to tell people to be, like, reasonable, make it look natural, because that's what, like, it's probably best, right? Because, like, there's always going to be the people that spin things way out of control, and then they're like, well, you said there was no velocity floor. I was like, well, there probably isn't, but you've been hitting this site with Xroomer, however you say that stupid tool's name, with, like, 50,000 forum links a day for 2 months. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a velocity thing, but it is what it is. But having said all that, like, I have never followed great protocol when it came to covering up some of the spamming stuff I've done in terms of lead gen sites and logging into GMBs. And I mean, it's like, I feel like if you're going to have issues with your lead gen account, your lead gen sites, like, I don't think Google's going to hit you from the Google Search Console having them in the, like, honestly, I'd be willing to bet you could put them all in the same account and never have an issue.
Well, my theory on it is that Google's not going to penalize you unless you're going against their TOS. He is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
He's very slow about it too.
What is he doing?
I guess he doesn't want to make a lot of noise to interrupt our show.
Neil's the man.
He's being nice. And
Coming back in. It's almost 4 o'clock. He'll be leaving.
Anyway.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to the end. Anyways, what I was saying though is Google's not going to penalize you because you didn't break their TOS. They don't just say, oh, this guy owns 50 websites, penalty. You know what I mean? So if they're connecting dots that are leaving a footprint, the question is, does that footprint show them that you're breaking TOS? So like building 50 PBN sites to the same 10 home pages of the same 10 websites, that kind of footprint would be bad. But to say putting all the same websites in webmasters, even if they're getting links from the same site, that's not, they can't say, well, we have a footprint here so everything else correlates across the board. I really don't see any issue with having multiple sites in webmasters. But that is also, you're tracking analytic data. So as opposed to now, if we're talking about like a GMB listing, that's an actual listing on an account. I wouldn't suggest building all your 100 fake GMB listings on the same GMB account. So understanding,
Agreed.
yeah. I don't think webmasters you have to worry because they're not going to correlate that to doing something wrong. But if you have a bunch of fake GMB listings on one account, that will correlate to this account as spamming listings.
Just to build on that, we've actually seen, for people who want to be paranoid, this is something we've actually dealt with in the agency. GMB accounts. Man, we had a legitimate client, everything legit, get a GMB suspension. Man, he speaks so loud. Like the person, like, you can't hear him. Like he could hang up the call and the person could still hear him. Seriously. What does he do? Does he have his headset on just going crazy in there? He's like, rah, rah, my name's Chad. Like, sorry.
He gets into his
Gets
work.
Yeah, man, he's a passionate individual.
He's very passionate about his work.
I'm passionate. Are you? You're also extremely passionate about your work as you order your Uber.
I'm ready to dip out of here.
Get your SEO life beanie, you're ready to bounce. But it's ordered, beautiful. I just said I'm gonna bounce too. This was too much for one day.
Yeah.
But no, it was the account got suspended. The listing got suspended. Sorry. And man, it was down for so long, and Google said the problem was the old manager account. It was an old agency. I'm talking from multiple years ago. This agency was found doing other spammy activity. So because they had association with that listing, it suspended our listing. Now we got it fixed, but it was a 3-week ordeal with GMB support, like everything always is. But yeah, that's something where account levels, and what you're managing with each account is going to be more of a factor for sure.
We have to consider the fact that Google owns the listing. Google doesn't own your website when you put it in webmasters.
Correct.
So it's a very different, concept.